Welcome to Let's Talk Criterion, your exclusive channel previewing forthcoming releases in the Criterion collection on a weekly basis. In this edition, we take a look at Payal Kapadia's film All We Imagine Is Light, a Janus Contemporary release coming new to the collection on Blu-ray. Payal Kapadia directed the brilliant Camera d'Or-winning A Night of Knowing, which debuted in the Cannes Directors' Fortnight in 2021. Now, that film's exquisite storytelling breathed to the possibilities of documentary imaginary. It was also a film that shared two languages, Hindi and Bengali. In All We Imagine Is Light, her latest film, the film opens in a Mumbai hospital, a strange world indeed occupied by women nurses, and we see an experienced nurse, Prava, that's Kani Kushruti, dealing with a woman patient, and a younger nurse, Anu, Divya Prava, slightly bored in the reception booth with a fish aquarium behind her. She's texting on her phone and listening to her heartbeat on her stethoscope. Both women leave the hospital and Prava is accosted outside by a doctor at the hospital. He is clearly infatuated with her and he gives her a book with a poem he's written for her. Meanwhile, Anu at the flat is distracted by the fact their pet cat may be pregnant, and Prava receives a rice cooker as a present from Germany. Now, this appears to be from her husband. She's married him through an arranged marriage. Now, of course, he lives and works in Germany, but it's never established in the film if it's actually from him. Anu has a secret. She's seeing a young Muslim man, Shayaz Heridu Harun, a relationship her strict parents would never approve of. Now, at first glance, you would think that Anu and Prava are younger and older sisters, as they appear to be very close, but they just share accommodation. And speaking of that, Prava's older friend Parvati, Shaya Kadam, is about to lose her home, as she is not recognised by law as being the tenant. This is a story of women struggling to fit into Indian society, dislocation, and the strange, almost surreal environment that Mumbai is, with 2-hour train journeys, for instance, across the sprawling metropolis, the seemingly endless rain that permeates the film, setting its own mood, and the judgment more traditionally brought up Indian women put upon younger ones, which strains friendships and relationships. Now, the director often returns to Mumbai, but it's a city in flux. It has a dichotomy all of its own. She tried, as much as possible, to shoot in locations. For instance, the hospital. It was an actual hospital closing down at the time, and they brought additional props in to dress the location and make it feel real. Wherever possible, she wanted to capture the spirit of Mumbai and give the film a verite, almost documentary feel, where you see these people's lives unfold. Now, when Prava's friend moves back to her home village, a strange occurrence takes place there for Prava, forming a sort of epiphany for her. Up to that point, she's been reticent to experience life, and more importantly, to move on and enjoy herself, leaving her old marriage behind. Now, the performance here of Kani Kushruti is beautifully understated, in fact, to the point of frustrating the viewer, in turn achieving the melancholy that Prava's character portrays. Paya wanted to cast Kani in the younger role, but in the end, as the years had passed by, she felt her better suited to the older role. Divya Prava plays young Anu, a junior nurse who just wants to enjoy her life. She laughs with her boyfriend at the pictures of possible suitors sent to her by her parents. I must admit they did look terrible, and this makes for an amusing moment in the film. There's a rift in the close friendship between the women, and that falls to Prava to make an apology as reparation for being too judgmental. Now, the other thing in the film is the fact that the script is written in Malayalam, the language of the state of Kerala, and a language that the director Kapadia is not fluent in. Other languages include Hindi and Marathi. Music plays a large part in the film as well. Kapadia enlisted the composer Topsha, who wrote many different cues for the film, many of which weren't even used in the final cut. Kapadia would often just experiment on the editing timeline with sound effects, music and dialogue that she would record herself to see how a mood was evoked. She would often also go with a DSLR camera onto the streets of Mumbai and just film small scenes in the crowd, so they could be interspersed with the principal photography, especially when it showed scenes of the nightlife. Mumbai is a city that comes alive at night, when many citizens are out eating, socialising or shopping as they tend to work during the day. All We Imagine Is Light won the Cannes Grand Prix Prize in 2024 and shows the delicate storytelling style of its director to its full effect. The cine literate Kapadia may echo certain Asian filmmakers, but many of her reference points feel distinctly European. For instance, the opening section, which includes shots from inside a moving train while those letters are read on the voiceover, immediately recalling Chantal Akerman's News from Home from 1977. Much has been made of All We Imagine Is Light, being the first Indian film in 30 years to compete at Cannes, but from the Wong Kar-wai-esque attention it gave to colour to the way the movie recalls the work of festival darlings, both contemporary and from decades past, it's clear this is the work of a filmmaker attuned to international filmmaking practice. Kapadia has, at least until now, been a persona non grata in the Indian production system, and she's had to look to Europe for financing and development assistance. All We Imagine Is Light is a co-production between France, India and the Netherlands and Luxembourg, and much of the crew is French. And in this light, it may be unsurprising that her film feels formally and aesthetically like a contemporary international product, rather than something intrinsically Indian. Now, this isn't a criticism, as it is refreshing to see an Indian filmmaker on the world stage, exploring different approaches and formal techniques, so assuredly. And with exquisite delicacy, Kapadia has crafted a portrait of Mumbai and its citizens that is by turns precise and impressionistic. It's run through with poetic realism and careful observation, and it is so different to her previous film, whose largely monochrome docu-fiction has given way to a more creative approach to capturing equally painful truths, marking out her as a filmmaker of significant promise. All We Imagine Is Light is a deep-rooted study of the fortifying power of friendship, propelled by moving performances and the director's compassionate eye. It comes as a Janus Contemporary release with a Meet the Filmmaker feature, that's a short interview with the director, Payal Kapadia, and a trailer, and it has a running time of 118 minutes and comes in an aspect ratio of 1:66:1, and it releases on Blu-ray in the US only on Tuesday the 22nd of July. And for those in the UK, there's already been a BFI release of this film, and it comes with an introduction by the director herself, a 21-minute interview with the director, and a second 21-minute interview with Kani Khosruti, as well as a detailed booklet and some other additional features. So that's very good value for those here in the UK, and moderately priced too. Next week on Let's Talk Criterion, we'll be taking a look at the Mike Nichols film starring Art Garfunkel, Candice Bergen and Jack Nicholson. That's Carnal Knowledge. It's coming to the collection on 4K UHD. So until next time, from me, as always, it's goodbye, and above all, good Criterion viewing.